Hello, America. Welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. I am meteorologist Mr. G with you guys once again with another weather video. And today we are going to be talking about our complex weather pattern that we're seeing out there that we're going to be seeing this weekend. We got two storms that we're going to be dealing with. We got one on the west coast, we got one on the east coast, and in the middle is a big bubble of high pressure, keeping things nice and mild for the nation's midsection from North Dakota all the way down to Texas and the Gulf Coast. But we do have a storm that's going to be heading off toward the northeast, and that is going to be coming a nor'easter possibly as we get towards Monday. So let's move on to our next map so we can take a look at what's going on out there. And we're going to have an active weather pattern to come for this upcoming week. We saw an active pattern this week. Next week, we're going to see that active pattern continue where we're going to be seeing the possibility for flooding. We're going to have severe storms. We're going to see snowstorms, a lot of heavy rain, and a lot of cold again. So a miserable week for a lot of folks coming up for the week ahead, as we can see on this map above, as we have our next round of storms that's going to be moving across the nation. All right, our weekend storm. We got this coastal storm that's going to be heading toward the northeast, coming up from the south and the southeast, and we're going to have that nice dip in the jet stream that is going to provide a lot of energy that's going to pull up warm moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic combined. We got a big Bermuda high off the coast, and that circulation with that energy from the jet stream and that big high combined is going to contribute to the development of a really strong storm system across the southeast. And that storm is going to head toward the northeast, where we can see a possible nor'easter by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. Unfortunately, it's going to not really make any changes as far as the snowfall deficit along the 95 corridor. So the big cities, Boston, New York, D.C., and Philly, not going to see any snow with this storm system, but you will see a lot of wind and heavy rain. There might be some snow over toward the far western suburbs. The furthest inland you can get from the major cities. Might see a few snowflakes. Maybe a light accumulation might be possible along the interior portions of New England and the Northeast. So as we hunker down and get ready to deal with this East Coast storm. All right, let me get our next map going here because it's not responding there. There we go. There is our surface low that's going to be forming ahead of the jet stream, and that guy's going to head on along the jet stream and head up to the northeast and become a nor'easter as we head into the upcoming work week. And you see that dip, that nice bubble down there. That's that nice piece of energy that's going to feed into that area of low pressure and really help that low pressure form along in conjunction with the big Bermuda high pressure that's off the coast of the Atlantic, way out there near the central Atlantic. All right, so we have that weekend coastal storm that we're talking about. You see that front. You see our occluded front. We have our warm front. We have that warm air coming off of that high pressure. We have warm air coming up off the Gulf. We also have warm moist air coming up off of the Atlantic. This is a tropical fed storm system. So we're going to be seeing a lot of heavy rain along the southeast coast. Some folks could pick up as much as 5 inches of rain. We're going to be seeing strong winds. Winds could reach up to 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially across the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. I think the winds won't really kick in until our storm starts to move more toward the northeast, New England, and towards New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. So once it starts to really get into gear and move across the northeast is when we're going to start to see more of that wind. But we're going to be seeing that snow across the Appalachian mountain range. We're seeing a lack of snow across that region as well, and behind the spine of the Appalachian to the west, we can see a bit of snow as well. A few inches might be possible as far west as Nashville. I know I got some folks on TikTok and even on YouTube who always ask me about snow for the South. a few snowflakes might be possible down the south. In Georgia and in Alabama, we might see a few snowflakes with this storm system. But I got to be honest with you, it's not going to really stick that far south, but you will see it fall from the clouds and maybe go on the grass a little bit before it melts away. But you might get a few snowflakes, so take solace in that, okay? Now, we still have a potential for severe weather today and even into tomorrow as well across the southeast. So South Carolina, southeastern Georgia, North Florida could have that potential for isolated severe thunderstorms possible. Tornadoes are not likely. I would never rule out a tornado when you have thunderstorms, even when you have the possibility of severe storms. The biggest problem is going to be heavy rain that could lead to flash flooding and gusty winds. Some of those gusty winds could exceed 60 miles per hour in some of those thunderstorms. And I think we're going to be seeing more of a linear pattern setup in those storms. So that kind of diminishes the threat for tornadoes. But you could see storms form out ahead of that main line. And there's those isolated storms that form out ahead of a big line of storms that could be your threat for any tornadic activity. And also the possibility exists along the Gulf Coast for waterspouts. So there is also a possibility of waterspouts because of the natural contours of the coastline kind of leads to those eddies or those spin-ups or those weak tornadoes right along the coastal sections. So if you're down on the Gulf Coast, you guys are used to that. You know what to do. All right, here's our future track. This is what the radar is supposed to look like as we get into the 10 o'clock hour tonight. So we're going to be seeing that line of rain, those thunderstorms coming up from the south and off the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to be seeing that heavy rain again across that region, that potential there for flash flooding. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Tomorrow, our storm system across the south, right there off the Florida coast, is going to be developing and begin to strengthen. We're going to be seeing thunderstorms across Florida. Some of those could be severe. Again, watch for that. Tornadoes are always possible across the state of Florida because it's nice, low, and flat. Perfect breeding grounds for tornadoes. Lots of lightning as well. Florida leads the nation in lightning strikes, so please be careful when you're dealing with thunderstorms down across the state of Florida. We're going to be seeing rain across the southeast, so Charlotte, Atlanta, so the Carolinas, Georgia, eastern Alabama will be dealing with more steady rainfall. More showery weather will be to the west through western Mississippi and Louisiana, so you will see lighter rainfall amounts in those regions. Again, Saturday night, our storm is going to make its way up the southeastern seaboard there. We see our little warm front, so we're still going to be seeing a lot of warm air across the east coast there near Raleigh. We'll see our heavier rain across the immediate coastal sections of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Atlanta. So if you are in Raleigh, if you are in Savannah, we're talking Charleston, Myrtle Beach. You guys are going to be seeing very heavy rain into Saturday night. Heavy rain and thunderstorms possible. We're going to be seeing those thunderstorms down across Florida once again. So Jacksonville south to Tampa, St. Petersburg, Fort Myers. You're going to be seeing thunderstorms. Cape Canaveral as well as Orlando. So showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible for your Saturday as well. Our storm now is starting to move into the mid-Atlantic, and when we get to Sunday, our area of low pressure, those winds are going to start to kick up. We're going to be seeing them coming up out of the southeast. I think our low pressure is going to go offshore a little bit off of the Chesapeake Bay. We're going to see that go off the coast of North Carolina over the Chesapeake Bay before hugging the coastline all the way up to Massachusetts. But in doing so, we're going to start to see those northeasterly winds, and then we can classify our storm as a nor'easter. But it's going to be bringing rain and heavy rain, and our snow is going to increase across the Appalachian mountain range once those winds get to blowing and interacting with that cold air coming down out of the north. And that is creating model inconsistency because it is that warm air coming off of the Atlantic may encroach upon the cold air coming down out of the north. And if that warm air is stronger than that cold air and can keep that warmer air at bay, it could lead to more or less issues with freezing rain or minimize our snowfall production. So a lot of that is going to depend on how strong those winds are, how far inland they can make an impact and impact our snow producing features in this storm. All right, here's our snowfall total forecast here. Some folks can pick up as much as 12 to 18 inches of snow along the highest elevation of the Appalachian Mountain Range. But we could see anything anywhere from less than an inch to 18 inches. So a pretty good potential there. And maybe an isolated 18 to 24 is the highest snowfall potential for anybody in the Appalachian Mountain Range. So north of Asheville can pick up a pretty good dousing of snow, 18 to 24. To the east of Bristol might pick up some 18 to 24. I'm not familiar with ski resorts in the Appalachian Mountain Range, but I'm pretty sure if there are, they're probably going to benefit from this and enjoy seeing this snow because they've had a lack of snow on the east compared to the west, where in the Sierra Nevada, we are looking at over 400 inches of snow in many locations there. All right, here is our rainfall forecast, and as we Saturday through Monday, so this encompasses the entire weekend into Monday morning, and we are looking at about 2 to 3 inches for the most part along the coast. Some folks up north near Wilmington, maybe in North Carolina, can pick up 3 to 5 inches, but generally to the south, 1 to 2 inches, and then to the west, half inch to 1 inch. Excuse me. Mr. G's been under the weather the last couple of days. I'm so dedicated to y'all and to my craft, even sick, I'm going to give you this forecast if I can. All right, so Saturday through Sunday, our flash flood threat, again, right along the coast, Charleston, Savannah, and to Georgia, North Florida, can see that potential for a flash flood. And that flash flooding is likely because we're going to see several inches of rainfall possible. Next week, so our next storm coming from California, one of the first effects that we're going to see, besides the potential for snow across the Central Plains, we'll talk about that in the later video. But I do want to give you guys a heads up on the potential for severe weather that will be likely across the southern United States, Arkansas, western Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, East Texas, Oklahoma could deal with some severe thunderstorms. Tornadoes are going to be possible. Hail, damaging winds, flash flooding, all modes of severe weather is going to be possible Wednesday and into Thursday. The same thing, but our storm is going to slide to the east. So Georgia, Alabama, eastern Mississippi, central Tennessee, all the way up in Florida, all the way up to Ohio and Indiana, southern Ohio, southern Indiana, can see the possibility of thunderstorms in the orange, but the red is severe thunderstorms likely. Tornadoes are possible, large hail, damaging winds, flash flooding. All modes of severe weather will be possible across the South as we head into your week next week, so Wednesday and Thursday. My name is Mr. G, signing out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave it locked right here for all your weather updates and information. Accurate, dependable, and late breaking. Sometimes I feel like I am late with breaking things, but we won't work on that. Feel free to subscribe if you're on YouTube here. Leave your likes, comments. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.